She thumps a cane and drinks champagne. She's formidable and judgmental, but we can guarantee that she's a quintessential Lady D, who recognizes great potential. What would Danbury do?
Welcome to What Would Danbury Do, your guide to Julia Quinn's Bridgerton series from A to V. This episode, we'll be doing a quick refresher to prep for the highly anticipated Netflix series. Pay attention because there will be a test. We also welcome our very first special guest to the podcast. That was very Oprah. You get a car. No, you don't. Romance readers the world over know Sarah Wendell as the co-founder and current mastermind of smartbitchestrashybooks.com, one of the most popular and long-running blogs examining romance fiction. She spends her days reviewing romance and celebrating the genre with people who read and write it. Sarah is the host of smart podcast Trashy Books, now in its 10th year. Whoa. And the author of Everything I Know About Love I Learned from Romance Books and Lighting the Flames, a contemporary Hanukkah romance novella. She also co-authored the book Beyond Heaving Bosoms, the Smart Bitch's Guide to Romance Novels. Don't forget, you can find us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook and join the conversation using the hashtag WWDDPod.
So I just want you to know I have taken notes.
Yeah, Rudy was studying for our quiz.
I didn't take notes on studying, but I took notes on your podcast. Can I tell you how amazing your podcast is? I love it so much.
Oh, Sarah, thank you. That's so kind. That really means a lot.
So I've been listening to it nonstop. I've been mainlining it because I've been quilting to keep my brain off of A, work, and B, the fact that we suck at Corona. And first of all, I am reasonably convinced that there needs to be more fanfic about Eloise and Penelope, no question. I love the queer reading. And I absolutely think that the Bridgertons might be a cult. I kind of think it's a cult.
True.
And like Violet is this glorious, benevolent cult leader. But I mean, like you guys have talked about it in different episodes. Like you enter the Bridgerton family, but then you don't leave. You either are a Bridgerton or you are not. And by the end of all the 99th and 11th epilogue, there's like half the ton is Bridgertons, right? I don't remember which one of you said that, but it's true. Yeah, they're like a cult, I'm pretty sure.
Well, I mean, when you think about like the way that Francesca keeps her baby a secret until it's born.
Yes, I was listening to that and I was like, holy shit, you're right. She didn't even tell her mother what the hell's wrong with her. She's got an exit plan.
Hi, I'm Rudy.
I'm Kate.
I'm Adele.
And I'm Sarah.
Woo! First guest!
I know. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
All right. So this is a supplemental episode, so we're not doing our regular deep dive into the second epilogues. We're all taking a break from that in anticipation of Bridgertons on Netflix, which is dropping the 25th of December. Sarah, you'll have to clarify for us, because for us, it's dropping on the 25th of December at 7 p.m., and I wasn't sure if that was because it's dropping at like 12:01 for you guys, and that's how the time difference works, or if it's 7 p.m. sort of across the board.
You know what? I don't actually know, because I've just been sort of looking at it like, oh, well, you know, I'm Jewish. It's Christmas. I don't have anything else to do. I'll be watching that. It's the nice thing about, like, I don't have to excuse myself from anything because it's just the 25th. I don't know, actually.
Yeah,
All I know is that it releases on the 25th. Maybe it is midnight here. Wait, does that add up?
I think I saw something on Twitter, which means it's entirely accurate.
Oh, of course.
That it was midnight in the US. But
it would make sense, I think, because like everything here, all of the advertisements and everything always say 7 p.m., 7 p.m., 7 p.m., 7 p.m. So if it's not doing that for you, then you guys must get it like at a midnight.
12:01:01. Mm-hmm. And then Netflix crashes. Which means that, well, then it would be 12 o'clock Eastern time, which would be like 9 p.m. West Coast. But yeah, that makes sense.
Can you imagine being a Bridgerton stan and being responsible for Christmas catering that day?
Like, that's Kate's.
That's me, but it's okay. 4 p.m. dinner. Everybody's passed out by 7. I'm on the couch with a bowl of popcorn. It's done. I've got it all planned out.
So normally we go to a movie and then have Chinese food because this is what Jews do on Christmas. And we're not obviously going But yeah, all of the Chinese places take reservations. And if you don't have a reservation, you're screwed. But we don't have actually dining in. At least we shouldn't. If you're dining in, you've got a bit of a problem. So we're going to be like calling in for our takeout order at maybe 2:30, 3 o'clock in the afternoon and then just putting it in the oven because there's no way we're going to get a decent pickup time at 6 p.m. And we'll probably find something to watch on television. But normally we do go to a movie, pick up Chinese and bring it home. We're not doing that this year because Corona is terrible and we're bad at it.
You really are.
We really are. It's amazing.
Like, it's quite common in Australia to go like have a little bit of a grizzle and then go, at least we're not America.
I am not surprised. We are, and I'm in a county that's actually quite restricted. Like they count how many people go into the grocery store and you're not allowed to go out without a mask. And they've been like, no, really take your mask with you if you leave the house. Like, even if you're just going to the mailbox, bring your mask. But like, if I go one state over, people are like, masks? Why would I do that? And I'm like, well, screw it. I'm staying home. We don't leave the house. My kids are so tired of me. Oh my God.
So we did our hard lockdown. And by we, I mean Adele and I, because Rudy's in New South Wales and understands nothing of the pain that we
I was going to say, I'm very definitely keeping out of this.
Did you have a 5K lockdown? Like you couldn't go more than 5K away from your house?
Oh, yeah. But we did it.
There's only 4 reasons you could leave the house. So
that's why you get dogs.
Yeah, well, that's why Adele got a dog. But the thing that was true is that we did it over winter, and I honestly think that if you're going into hard lockdown, doing it over winter is better than having to do it over summer. So, yeah, so if you're heading into sort of your hard lockdown, at least the days are really cold and dark, and nobody wants to leave their house anyway. So, yeah.
We had weird situations where, like, because you were allowed to leave your house, and particularly for exercise kind of reasons. So, and also, winter here is, like, winter in New South Wales is not really winter. Like, we have about 2 weeks of winter, realistically. So, during the lockdown, people were taking their kids to the beach, and your kid is fine to be, like, swimming, because that's exercising. But as the adult supervising them, you weren't allowed to sit on the beach and watch your child. That was against the rules. So people were being booked for supervising their like under 10-year-old child in the water. Often, like, you just sort of, if you went to the beach, you would see the parents just kind of pacing up and down like their little spot while they watch their kid, because if you sat down, that was breaking the rule. Super weird.
That is super strange.
But yeah, in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't compare to a Melbourne lockdown.
We're going to be riding that martyr train for a while. Like, I still have those deep martyr feelings. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so this episode, we wanted to give a quick primer/refresher for anyone who's thinking about watching Bridgerton, but either hasn't had the time to read the books or can't be bothered, but still wants to know things. First, Bridgerton is based on a series by Julia Quinn, the first book having been published in 2000, so 20 years ago. It's very much a product of its time, and you should know going into both the book and the show that there's a content warning for sexual assault. It occurs as a major plot point, and, at least in the books, is narratively supported. If you're interested in finding out more details and more depth, we discuss the book version in our episode Daphne and the Duke. For this reason, if representations of sexual assault is triggering to you or an absolute deal breaker, we get it. Please take care of yourself. Second thing to know, the Bridgerton series is named after the family of 8 siblings and their widowed mother. We'll get to them in more detail in just a moment. But they're an upper-class family in 1800s England. Notably, they've been named in alphabetical order, going Anthony, Benedict, Colin, Daphne, Eloise, Francesca, Gregory, Hyacinth, and, of course, their mother Violet. Daphne's story comes first because of the patriarchy. Third thing to know, the books are full of anachronisms. So if you're keen to cast stones at the Netflix series for historical inaccuracies, the source material ain't exactly pure. Fourth, Lady Danbury is in many ways the arbiter of good society. If she likes or dislikes somebody loudly, it's a fair bet that she's right. Fifth, pretty much from this point onwards, the rest of the episode will contain series spoilers based on the books and our previous episodes. If that's a deal breaker, now is the time to turn your volume all the way down and let the episode run its course. And now that the housekeeping is done, over to you, Kate.
All right, so we thought that we'd do a character rundown of the bare bones things that you need to know about each character. And I had this really great idea that we could do it like alphabetically. We could only provide adjectives that began with the letter of the name of the character, which worked super well for Anthony because I came up with authoritarian and then fell down real hard on Kate because there are no adjectives that start with K that are actually useful in describing people. So Anthony for authoritarian, and then I figure we can just go wild with everybody else because it doesn't work all the way through.
Benedict. Boring, barnacle, bastard. What's the word for somebody? Balderdash. Yeah.
I was looking up synonyms for tall, but there's none that start with B.
How tall is he really? Like compared to the others?
The tallest.
Yeah, right. So what's that like,
No, but actually, you're right, because, like, all of the Bridgerton men are tall. It's just that he's the tallest. So
and it's an important personality trait for him.
It's the only one.
So he's the guy who, on his Tinder, he's like 6'2", if that matters.
No, Benedict is a big blah. He's a big blah. Yes, he's blah. Like Colin is the one who chews on the scenery. Benedict's like, I'm not Anthony and I'm not Colin. I'm tall.
Colin chews scenery. He also chews a shit ton of food. So,
Colin is chewing.
He's also charismatic as fuck.
And charming.
Daphne.
Dastardly and daring.
So, Eloise.
Energetic.
Extra.
Eager. Extra. Yeah.
Extra is very, yeah.
Entangled. Penelope.
Penelope's. Francesca is...
freaking out of there is what she is. She is freaking out. She is gone.
Actually, she's a little bit freaky too.
Yeah, she's a bit of a freak.
She fucked right off.
Oh yes, cheers to that. She fucked right off.
Love it.
She was like, "Oh, all of you are crazy. Can't say it to your faces." But...
faded from memory.
Oh, that's a really nice way of putting retconned. Good job,
Gregory.
Galumping.
Galloping.
That's actually the better word, because that's what I was trying to think of. Like, God, he runs for so many pages.
Gregarious. Is he though?
No,
I don't know what gregarious means.
And Hyacinth.
Boy howdy.
High key. She's high key everything.
Hellcat.
That's a good one.
Hey everybody, this is Kelly Reynolds and I host Boobies and Newbies, part of the Frolic Podcast Network. Every episode, I invite a romance reading newbie to read and review their very first romance novel, alongside me, a self-proclaimed romance novel addict. In just 2 seasons, we've covered a little bit of everything, from Alyssa Cole's Civil War-era romance, An Extraordinary Union.
If we remade When Harry Met Sally and cast Gabrielle Union and John Cho.
Oh my god, I would so watch that! To the badass lady billionaires in Lucy Score's The Price of Scandal.
That would just make my days if you had this big, buff British man in your tub.
Not to mention our steamy spotlight episodes, where we discuss topics in and around Romancelandia, and even interview some of our favorite romance authors. Find and follow us on social media at Boobies Podcast, and catch up on previous episodes on your favorite podcast streaming platform.
I've been reading older romances, and if I see curves in all the right places, I'm going to put my fist through the screen of my reader.
I've been listening to romance, doing their Jane Eyre reading. Morgan was talking about one of her friends was wedding dress shopping, and was looking at retro sort of dresses, and had been told, don't get upset if the dresses from the 50s don't fit you, because like everyone was malnourished, so their bones were smaller. There is no way in this time, like literally it's your bone structure is going to make you not capable of wearing those things. And then Morgan started thinking about all of those old school romances and the heroines who are smaller than all of the other, and just how tiny they must be because they're smaller than all of the other malnourished women around them.
I remember so clearly reading a Jude Devereux novel. I think it was A Knight in Shining Armor, and she goes back in time to the 1600s, and she loses weight, and she gets interesting hollows in her cheeks. And I'm like, yeah, from fucking malnutrition. Damn, that's not good.
That book stresses me out so much.
If a hero can like measure your waist with his hands,
right?
You're too, like that's.
He can measure her waist, but she cannot reach her fingers around his big fat wiener. That's the kind of girth we're talking here. So he can put his hands around her waist, but she can't put her fingers around his weenus. That's messed up.
Maybe his dick is like as thick as her waist. Like,
I like just the.
Oh God, Adele, the face you just.
Isn't that horrifying?
It reminds me, did you guys ever see, there was a print advertisement because it was a photo it was for a lubricant. And it was a picture of this woman sitting on a dock, and along the dock were the pillars that like boats use to get tied up. And you don't notice it at first. But so there's like pillar, 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 woman sitting, pillar, pillar. And then it says, I don't know, KY jelly or whatever. And you're sitting there like, yeah, wait for it. Wait for it. Oh my God, she's sitting on the pillar. That's how good the lubricant is. And that's what that makes me think of.
Oh, please excuse any microphone noises. I'm crossing my legs right now. Oh, jeez.
I'm gonna cry.
All I can think of is splinters.
It's like, oh no, they were like I don't know,
they were ribbed for her
something
pleasure.
like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and they were like shaped like little hourglass. Anyway, the point is that image has never left me.
It's so upsetting right now.
I will see if I can find it.
Somewhere there is an ad copywriter sitting, having a drink, and thinking, "Yes, I did it. Mission accomplished."
Yeah. Nailed it. Exactly. Oh. Anyway, moving on.
Okay, so here's my rule about spoilers. If the movie has been on an airplane, then you don't have to worry about spoiling it. It's been on Delta Airlines, you're fine. So if the book is 20 plus years old, I think it's okay to be like, yeah, okay, we all know that this is true. Like there's no spoilers anymore. So here's a question though about the structure and the conceit of having Julie Andrews be Lady Whistledown. Julie Andrews sounds like an adult woman, and I'm wondering if the construction of the series is that it's Lady Whistledown writing her memoirs, and she's telling the story of all of these people in the past, because it's sort of like, do you remember the first season of Desperate Housewives where they had the woman who killed herself in the first episode narrating the whole thing?
The ghost,
and
yeah.
you didn't know who it was, and you didn't know what her deal was. All you know is that she was telling you about all these other women, and at the end of the first season you found out who she was and what the deal was. So I'm wondering if the conceit of the series will be that it's Lady Whistledown telling you about this season ages after it's happened. So it adds that sort of once upon a time, here's this story I'm going to tell you. That's one of my questions.
That's interesting. Yeah, because I have to admit, I mean, all respect to Julie Andrews always, but she sounds like an older woman. And yeah.
I guess because when you go back to The Duke and I, everyone believes that it's an older woman who's writing it, and it's supposed to be like that, like that's part of the
mystique that she's taking on the voice of a much older person.
And also part of how she hides.
Yes, that's true.
Is the fact that she's kind of, it's a misdirect that she has intentionally done. Partly because we don't take young women, and I mean, she would have been, I think she was 16 at the time. We don't take young women seriously when they try and tell truths, which is what she was doing. So she's kind of built around that. She's subverted the expectation of you would have to be older to tell this level of truth.
Yes.
So then she's a much better spy.
And it's also a really interesting contrast of voice. So you have the voice of Lady Whistledown and the voice of Penelope, which are not quite the same, but show enormously sharp edges in the same way. Like, there are scenes where Penelope really gives herself away with her, like, wit and the things she says. So you have the written voice, and then you have the actual voice of Julie Andrews contracted with the actual voice of Nicola, who plays Penelope. And it's an interesting question of the transition of written voice to auditory voice.
I've actually really willfully stayed away from, like, I haven't watched the trailer yet, because that's who I am. But because of that, it means I don't know if when we hear Julie Andrews narrating, if she's actually narrating Whistledown columns or if she is narrating the scene. Then it becomes that thing of, like, Penelope does go on to write a romance novel. The Wallflower, I think, is what it's called. Unless I'm like, because I also wanted to call it the Wallflower Wager, which is actually a Tessa Dare.
But yeah.
I was going to say Tessa Dare and Lisa Kleypas are going to get pissed. They're mad right now and they don't know why.
I wonder if they have Julie Andrews sort of narrating Whistledown now because nobody knows who it is and everybody is making their assumptions. And then when we know who Whistledown is, it'll switch.
Oh, that would be
really cool.
Oh my god, that would be very cool.
That would be really nifty.
Because this is kind of a similar thing that Gossip Girl had to navigate, but they also didn't have to as much because they kept the identity secret right until the very end. And then a lot of people got really mad because it was a bad choice. It made no sense. Yes. But yeah, like they had I'm forgetting her name now. Oh, I went to a party last night.
Kristen Bell.
That's her. I kept going, it's not Kristen Stewart. There is someone else. But yeah, they had Kristen Bell narrate as Gossip Girl, only to, at the very end, reveal that it was Dan, which is a fucking terrible idea.
XOXO. Gossip Girl. All right. When Adele gets back, are we quiz ready?
I'm ready.
Are we warmed
do
up? Are we firing on all synopsis? No, I'm really not. I'm tired.
Oh, we're as firing as we're gonna get.
I'm about an hour and a half from bedtime, and I've had gin and Nutella pizza, so I'm very content.
I went to a young person's birthday party last night.
Wait, you do things where you can go to other people and breathe with them?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So that and it was I didn't intend to stay over. I fully intended to go to my own home at the end of the night, but I slept on the couch and just feeling very
I'm too old for that myself.
Very gross today.
That is a young person's party thing to do.
I was very definitely the oldest person there, but and I felt it. But I am also the one that ended up sleeping on the couch, so I don't know.
Nice.
Hey, Adele. Right. We're ready to start the quiz when you're ready to be.
Ready?
We're ready, yes.
Yeah.
Welcome to the first and potentially last Bridgerton Ball. This is where my fellow co-hosts, Kate and Rudy, go against a romance paragon. There can only be one winner. And I know that Rudy has been studying and Sarah has notes, so Kate, you might be fucked. This might get intense. 4 rounds. I choose the arbitrary scoring system as we go. I am the epitome of the Pall Mall game. I work it out and someone will be the queen of the mallet at the end of this quiz. Are we ready, ladies?
I love you so much.
So ready. I've never been more proud of you. Give me extra points just for that.
This is so sweet. Okay, round 1, Family Matters. Just first one to call out the correct answer wins. If you get it wrong, You're out.
Out altogether for the rest of the game.
No, just for that question.
Okay.
Kate is looking like a ball of stress right now. I can't see Rudy, but it's because she's got the eye on the prize. And Sarah is looking very relaxed. 1. How old is Eloise into Sir Philip with love?
Oh, me, 28.
Correct. 1 for Kate.
Nice. It was my understanding there would be no math. So now I'm fucked.
2. What is the name of the Scottish house Francesca often hides away from her family in?
Sterling.
No.
Sterling House.
No, it's John and Michael are the Earl of Kilmartin. It's Kilmartin House.
Correct. Well done, Kate.
Oh.
Number 3, I will take the closest or accurate answer. How many Bridgerton grandchildren, including the adoptions, we count all children here, are there?
Oh, fuck.
35.
Correct, Rudy. Well done.
There's 35? That's exactly right?
Yes.
Holy
bang on.
crap.
Oh my god. I took a shot.
Really? Yes. I had to count each one of those buggers. Question 4. What is Gareth's relationship to Lady Danbury?
Nephew.
No.
Grandson.
Correct, Rudy.
Oh.
I'm at a negative point now. Yes!
Because Simon
is her name. That's
Danbury's
right.
I asked. Confusing.
Well played,
Yeah.
Adele. Well played.
I'm not giving negative points. I'm not that much of a wench. Okay. Which book did the Smythe Smiths first appear?
Offer from a Gentleman. Bugger. All right, -2.
Romancing Mr. Bridgerton.
No.
It's not Romancing
The
Mr. Bridgerton.
Viscount Who Loved Me.
Correct.
Oh, that was my second guess, Rudy. Nice job.
Question number 6. Name one of the Bridgerton granddaughters starting with the letter J.
Janet.
Renesmee. I guess Renesmee.
It's a fucking stupid name.
Correct.
Wait,
Sorry.
Janet is Francesca's daughter. I didn't ask a grandchild because I knew you'd all guess John because that's super obvious, which was Francesca's other child. So well done, Kate.
Fun fact that I worked out while studying is that there's 2 cousins who have the same name. They're born 5 years apart, named George.
There's never been a family more in need of a baby names book than the fucking Bridgertons. Like, there are more than 10 names out there, my friends.
They do not care about double.
But I ask you, Kate, how many other Kates do you know? Because as a Sarah in my 40s, I know a fucking butt ton of other Sarahs. So everyone needs that goddamn baby book. To say nothing of Jennifer's. And yeah, so yeah, everyone needs that damn book.
But how many Sarahs are in your family?
Well, we didn't have a lot of children in my family, so I'm still the only one. Good point. No one's going to be like, well, I mean, if I do my family tree, there's a whole bunch of Sarahs, but that's just because Sarah's a name that sticks around.
7, and the final question for Family Matters. Name Penelope's 2 sisters, and I'll give you an extra point if you can name her mother as well.
Portia.
Oh, Philippa. Can we share points? Because I didn't know Portia,
Yeah,
but
sure.
Philippa.
So Rudy's got 1. She's named the mum. Portia. Philippa.
Felicity.
Yep. Don't
Actually,
shake your head. That's
not
right.
okay.
She's got 3 sisters.
Yeah. Fuck, what's the other P
And-
one?
Think about the Beatles.
Patricia. The Beatles? Paulina? Okay, hold on. Who are the Beatles? Ringo? George?
Think about their songs.
I know. I was going to say I think it's more of a song thing, and now I'm.
You know what?
All I can think of is Penny Lane, and I'm like, that's not going to be one of them.
No, well, that takes care of Penelope.
All right. We're passing that one in. Rudy gets a point for the Portia. Kate gets a point for Felicity and Philippa, but no one guessed Prudence.
Oh, Prudence.
Prudence. I mean, if
Okay,
you gave us a
and
hint
now-
of, like, Charmed, I maybe might have got there. But
Okie dokie.
not gonna
Round
play with
2,
this monster.
which I'm calling Quinspiration.
Adele,
As
I am in awe.
this round is inspired by Quinn. You didn't get it. Okay, there's only 3 questions in this round. 1. How many outlines did Quinn write to crack the Viscount Who Loved Me code?
3.
Yes! Sarah's on the board! 3 different outlines to work out. Anthony was a boob man. Okay. Number 2. It's in his kiss. Hyacinth assisted Gareth in decrypting Italian. Who helped Julia Quinn?
Her husband.
No. Eloisa James. Her husband is an Italian count.
Correct. Sarah, coming back strong. Woot, woot, woot. I could see it like on your memory. All right, one more question. The title of On the Way to the Wedding was inspired by something else from pop culture, a movie and also I think a play / musical. Which one?
Is it A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum?
Yeah, correct, Sarah.
Oh, nice.
Sarah has swept round 2. We have Rudy on 4, Kate on 4, and Sarah on 3. Ooh, it's getting close.
I have redeemed myself from the depths of embarrassment.
So here is a thing that happened. I saw On the Way to the Forum with Jeffrey Rush in the main role. Yeah.
I saw it with LeVar Burton.
Oh my God. My husband bought me, what are those things called? I can't remember. A video with LeVar Burton wishing me a happy birthday for my 40th. And it was like my favorite thing I've ever received ever. LeVar Burton calls me wonderful Miss itself. I realize he has no fucking clue who I am, and he says it to everybody, but I don't care. He really meant it when he was talking to me.
Oh, that's so sweet. On to round 3.
Okay.
I'm calling this Paul Mall
Okay.
because everything goes.
All right, I love it.
All right. Mallet of Death, anal sex. Got it.
I'm here for it.
1. What kind of dog is Newton?
Corgi.
Correct, Rudy. Bang, 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 bang. And obviously, Newton belongs to Kate in the Viscount Who Loves Me. 2. How many engagements has Eloise rejected?
3.
7.
No. Give Rudy that because it was at least 6. So well done, Rudy.
I feel like 7 is a good, because she definitely rejected Philip the first time, didn't she?
Yeah, so it probably is 7.
Yeah.
You're right.
If you can argue your
number
way
seems
into
to
the
be
right
6.
answer, I think it counts.
Definitely in Pall Mall. Like,
Question 3. What kind of music would Kate hate with good reason?
Opera.
Yes, Sarah. Correct.
Thank you. She hates sopranos.
I'm just thinking of her like really hating the TV show The Sopranos.
That was filmed where I used to live.
Question 4. In Romancing Mr. Bridgerton, Colin writes about sand rippling and the water being an unimaginable blue. Where was he?
Cyprus.
Yes, I was going to say
Correct,
Corsica, but
Rudy.
Cyprus.
Close, Kate. Close. All right. Last question in Pall Mall. Everything goes. Eloise is quite talented at the creative art of pranking. What did she plot to make Amanda scream?
Putting a fish in her bed.
No. Half correct though.
I'm going with a Sopranos answer, a dead horse head in her bed.
Half correct. But incorrect. It was a frog in the bed. So
Oh my God,
Kate,
I was
Sarah, you
thinking about a frog and then was like, nah, that's something that someone else did to her.
We have just hit the end of round 3. Rudy in the lead on 7. Kate is on 4, as is Sarah. So this is the freestyle round. Hope you're ready. I am going to give, there's not one point. I'm just going to give at will for anything I like. So this is going to disrupt and be chaotic, and I'm just going to do my own like Danbury shit. Okay, invents the next new inventive death in Miss Butterworth and Mad Baron's Tale.
Crushed under the weight of all of the comments regarding the sex scene in The Duke and I, about the sex scene and historical accuracy, in the casting of the series, crushed under the weight of all of those comments until you were nothing but an obliterated little blot. I believe the sound that it would make would be splat.
I really didn't compete with that, but try.
I'm going to riff off that and say choking on a well actually before it actually makes it out of her mouth.
Nice one. That is where mansplainers get their water, after all.
Oh, I have to actually answer. Oh, Jesus.
I mean, you don't. You're sitting so far ahead at this point, so you could probably relax.
No, well, because I went in a very conventional way, and I somewhat regret this now. But I was thinking that the next death would be lost at sea.
Swallowed by a whale.
That's like a little bit too biblical, though, because like the other deaths we've got are like pecked to death by pigeons and also the plague. But like, so I was thinking, yeah, lost at sea, but like waded into the ocean for a relaxing swim and then just got swept away. And that's it. Yeah.
Like what happened to one of our prime ministers.
Yes. A bit of a Harold Holt situation.
A Harold Holt situation.
We named a swimming centre after him.
Alternatively, didn't wear a fucking mask.
Too soon. Too real.
Not around here, it's not.
I'm going to go Sarah 3, because Kate wouldn't have come up with hers without Sarah. And then Rudy, I'm going to give you 1, but I did like the conventional.
Thank you.
All right.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. You made me laugh. Number 2, I want you all to design a partner for Violet. What 3 qualities would she borrow from 3 of her children? So,
whichever one of them has the biggest dick. And I don't need to know which one it is, but my girl needs some fine, really good fucking. All right, I'm going with big dick, brings her flowers like Simon so that she feels appreciated and seen, and acknowledges the skill of her skill as a parent, because as fucked up and culty as that family is, she really does care about her children and does want what's best for them.
I'm going to go with observant, like Eloise, for not dissimilar reasons, but also so that she feels seen and understood, and so he meets her needs. I'm going to go with charming, like Colin, because I think Violet needs somebody who's going to make her laugh, but is also like going to bring sort of laid back energy into her house. I mean, she's had
and eat her out of house and home. Or just eat her out. I just want this woman to have really good orgasms.
I'm going to be hungry like Colin for things more than
yes. I love. We just had a transcontinental mind meld, and my keyboard fell on the floor.
Well done.
I think someone who is okay to be in the background, like Francesca.
Wait, who?
Yeah, exactly.
Not much of a choice.
Because I feel like Violet actually quite enjoys, like she's gotten used to being in charge and being sort of the center point of the family. And so she would need a partner who is going to be comfortable with that and isn't going to step in and try and be like, I'm the dad now.
So not Anthony, basically.
So not Anthony at all. God, it's really disturbing to think about. Yeah, anyway, I'm not going to get into that. Do you know what? No, because this is going to drag otherwise, and I'm not creative right now. I'm just going to concede and say, like, that's where I'm at.
Okay. I'm going to give 3 to Sarah, 3 to Kate, and 1 to Rudy, so you all got points for everything you contributed. Well done.
Thank you.
This is making it a very close fight, which was my goal. Okay. I will give 3 points to the person who convinces me. Which Bridgerton would win Survivor?
Eloise.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's a good one. No, you know what? I think Hyacinth. Hyacinth is willing to do whatever it takes to survive, and she would 100% throw literally everybody under the bus in order to get there.
It's too... Hyacinth is too well known as a chaotic... Well, like, as an agent of chaos and untrustworthy. There's no way that anyone would, like, trust an alliance with her. And I think she'd have a really hard time getting... Like, she'd do well to a certain point, but Eloise, things we know about Eloise is, like, she's the best shot in the family. She's very determined. She can turn into, like, the group mum at will, because as soon as she needs to be, she can keep a fucking secret. She's like, yeah, Eloise all the way.
Ashley, I concede you've made a really good point. Also, we also know that she's devious as fuck and she could, like, prank the hell out of anybody. All right. Yeah, I concede.
Super resourceful.
Yeah.
I say Colin, because he would just kill and eat the other contestants because he would be hungry.
Wait, hold on. Do we have to add cannibal to our list of sealers?
It's got dark.
I will give you... Look, I'm still wholeheartedly convinced that Eloise would beat him, because when it comes down to it, Colin doesn't actually have good people instincts, or like instincts about people, which is why he thinks that his sister is Lady Whistledown and not the woman he's been spending time with. But he would be like, he's fairly devious. He would manage. I think part of the problem, though, is that he does enjoy being devious a little too much, and he would give himself away eventually.
I'm going to give Rudy the 3 points here. I think she nailed it.
I also just argued everybody else down.
But I'm both impressed and a little terrified of how deeply you seem to have thought about this.
Because I was expecting some kind of question about who would win in a fight. And so I've had my reasons for why Eloise is, like, my champion. Despite the fact I am a Hyacinth stan, Eloise will be my champion if I had to go into a fight.
We might ask my freestyle questions up on Twitter too, so you can give your thoughts about.
Yeah, I would love for someone to.
Yeah. That last question of freestyle round: if you were to make Lady Danbury a new cane, how would you decorate it?
I would 100% give her, like, one of those Lucius Malfoy canes from Harry Potter that she can whip out that has, like, a rapier in it. I think that would be fun. Also think she'd be so much more effective in a ballroom with a rapier than just banging people with her cane. Like, people would get the fuck out of her way.
I think it would be a giant fucking flask. It would be a giant flask full of alcohol, and the outside would be covered with very, very elaborate Georgia O'Keeffe vagina-looking flowers. So people would be distracted by this giant staff covered with vulvas, and no one would be looking at the fact that every now and again she'd pour herself a little tipple and just, and she would be drinking and be completely blotto by the end of the ball, because that's the only way you're getting through this thing.
I would like her cane to have a little bit of a nod to her softer side and have cellos on it.
Aww.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh god, I don't even know how to grade this one. All right, I'm saying everyone's equal. We're going to have a tiebreaker. Okay. This is to decide who is the Queen of the Mallet, the inaugural winner of the Bridgerton Ball. On the cover of the Netflix tie-in to Duke and I, which character is on the right and what are they standing before?
I don't know my right from my left.
Penelope is on the right.
No, Daphne's on the right.
And what are they standing in front of?
They're standing in front of Simon, who's like looking over his shoulder a little bit at her.
I'll give you that. Okay. I was thinking pond and flowers, but she is kind of in front of Simon, so I'll give you that. So, Kate, with doing no preparation, you just won.
So much
Oh, was there climax? I should have had a better tiebreaker question. I'm sorry. I failed everybody as the game master.
You really did not, though. That was phenomenal.
I think we should make this an annual celebration, and I will put the 4 questions from the freestyle round up on Twitter so people can give us their thoughts on new inventive deaths, what a great partner for Violet would look like, who would win Survivor if you want to take on Rudy but prepare to lose, and what a new game.
Who would you? Well, yeah, it's that thing of like, who of the Bridgertons would win in Survivor, and why is it Eloise?
Thank you very much. Well done, everyone. That was very impressive. I did give you some really hard questions, so well freaking done. But I will forever be proud of Quinspiration. You're welcome.
Oh,
that is the end of the Bridgerton Ball.
That was so good and so much fun.
Well, that was really well. Congratulations to my competitors. Worthy. All. Whoosh. All right. I've got like adrenaline.
I know, I'm full like fight or flight mode.
Are we also like really happy that I wasn't a contestant? Because I would have been silent the whole fucking time.
You would not have, but like I love the variety because, yeah, I did not cope well with those creative questions, but like the other 2 fucking Sean, that was gorgeous.
All right, and now it is time for
What Would Danbury Do?
This is where we imagine that a character from another favorite book, spelled favorite with a U, very posh, is desperate for advice and turns to the terror of the ton, Lady Danbury, for help. Today's letter comes from Sahara, heroine of Heart of Obsidian by Nalini Singh. Dear Lady Danbury, I've been rescued by a powerful, impossibly terrifying man who I am pretty sure can destroy the planet with his brain. I know he's capable of murder and torture and other horrifying things, but I also know he'll never hurt me. Is it safe to be the one person who keeps someone from rupturing the entire world? It seems like a lot of pressure. What would Danbury do?
She would flick the kill switch.
And the planet is gone along with Lady Danbury.
Just before that, she would get him to flick a kill switch.
Oh, yes.
See what I did there?
I do see what you did there.
Her little death switch.
I mean, it's a very elegant solution. Get rid of him, and then you don't have that pressure anymore, and you can go and find some nice guy who isn't going to use you as an emotional tutor for the rest of your life.
It's true.
I think Lady Danbury would recognize, like, low-key evil people need love too. As a low-key evil person.
I don't think there's anything low-key.
She's low-key. Not evil. Oh, would we call him low-key? I don't know. Yeah, I mean, a little bit. He's like lawful evil. I feel like that's where he kind of sits on that that chart thing that they use in D&D. I don't know what it's called.
The alignment?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's the one. Yes. The alignment chart. I feel like
Kaleb would be lawful evil. Yeah, I think I'm with you there.
Yeah. And I mean, because I feel like Lady Danbury herself kind of, there's an argument for her either being she's either chaotic or evil. She's not chaotic evil though. That's not her. But she's somewhere like heading.
I think she's chaotic neutral.
Yeah, that's what I think so too.
Yeah. And so I think as a chaotic neutral, she can respect and understand a lawful evil. So she probably wouldn't be ready to write him off entirely.
And she does respect power.
She does respect power.
Because she has enough of it of her own to respect it in other people.
It's true, actually. And Sahara ends up with a great deal of reflected power.
Yes. And she also ends up with a power that balances Kaleb's. They are both lethal, and they are the perfect partner for each other, because without the other, they are unmoored and extremely dangerous. They are each other's foil, and they are each other's morality chain. So the reason I picked this is because I wanted to bring in a paranormal series. But if you read through the Psy-Changeling series, there's a lot of similarities in terms of the fact that there are rules, and there are very strict social rules, and there are very strict social engagements. There is a absolute metric buck ton of shit parents everywhere. Everyone's a shitty parent until you join a changeling family, and everything's great. So I'd argue there's less similarities between the Bridgertons and the changelings too. But I also see a lot of similarities to Simon and Kaleb in that they are both wounded, they are both treated horribly by their parental figure, they are both isolated, and then they are both taught, no, you are worthy of love and affection, even though you are kind of shit sometimes. Now, Simon doesn't actually mentally destroy people's brains and torture them and, create giant gorges when he has an orgasm because he can't control his telekinesis, but, details. So that was my contribution.
That we know of.
Right, that we know
those
of.
Things that we know of.
Yes,
does anyone actually know how the Mariana Trench came to be?
No.
It
could be Simon and his majestic Pee-mee. His Pall Mall mallet of love is formidable.
That's all for this episode of What Would Danbury Do? We will return to regular programming when we discuss Gregory's epilogue, due to be released next week. In the meantime, you can send all your thoughts about Bridgerton on Netflix on Twitter and Instagram as @BridgertonPod, or send us an email at bridgertonpod@gmail.com. If you're feeling the holiday spirit and would like to give us a gift, our Santa list includes ratings and reviews, as we've been very good this year.
This episode was recorded on the traditional and unceded land of the Gadigal, Wurundjeri, and Bunwurrung people, and the traditional tribal lands of the Piscataway and Anacostan peoples, and edited by audio producer Rudy Bremer on Gadigal country. Thank you for listening. This show is fabulous. You should listen repeatedly.
Thanks for listening, and remember, WWDD.
What Would Danbury Do is part of the Frolic Podcast Network. Find more podcasts you'll love at frolic.media/podcasts.